Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, February the 5th. Welcome to our video commentary. There's already a lot of talk about 2018, all kinds of predictions about what's going to happen. Of course, in November 2018, the entire Congress will be up for a vote, and a third of the senators, we elect them every 2 years, so a third of the senators will be up in the U.S. Senate. So it's early, but some people are already making some predictions. Traditionally, the party out of power will do very well in the first year midterm of a new president. So historically, for example, you can point to 2010 when the Republicans did very well against President Obama, 1994 when the Republicans did very well against President Clinton, 1982 when President Reagan suffered some losses, 1990 when the first President Bush suffered some losses, and so on and so on. The exception was actually President George W. Bush in 2002. He actually picked up seats and ended up actually picking up the Senate that year. But historically, the first election of a new president is usually pretty good for the other party and not good for the new president. So history would tend to favor the Democrats in 2018, but there's a couple of interesting details that may be painting a different picture, to say the least. The first one is that when you look at the national committees, the Republican National Committee and the Democrat National Committee, what you find is a real contrast in finances. The Republican National Committee is doing quite well. They're raising money very successfully. They're full of cash. The Democrat National Committee is actually not. In fact, they're in the red. In the Democrat National Committee, they're having a very difficult time raising money at the national level. Now, Democrats will tell you that the state parties are doing well, and that's probably true. But it's always nice to have cash at the national level because you might be able to use that cash to support a particular election or particular senatorial election where the money is needed. So in politics, you're always better off having cash than not having any. And right now, at least at the national level, the Republican Party is doing quite well in that front. The other big story, or the other point that came out, was what they call the generic vote. This is where they ask people, who would you rather vote for Congress, a Democrat or a Republican? It's just a generic question. It doesn't have a name of a candidate or anything like that. It just, who would you rather vote for, Democrat or Republican for the Congress? And just 6 weeks ago, the Democrats were up by 15 points. Today, it's a dead heat, and depending on what poll you look at, it could be 5-6 or it could be as low as 2. So the trend has gone from a very healthy Democrat advantage to pretty much a dead heat. When you get down to 2 or 3 points, that's pretty much of a dead heat. So what is going on? And I think this is the interesting question. Are we seeing a change in our politics? It's probably too early to tell. It's probably too early to tell. After all, it's only February and we're still 8 months away from Election Day. But clearly the trend is not as pro-Democrat as it was, let's say, 6 weeks ago, as it is today. I mean, if the election were held today, the Republicans would clearly hold on to the Senate, and they lose a few seats in the House, and it might be very close in the House, but more than likely they would keep a small majority. That's what would happen if the election were held today. Of course, the election is not going to be held today. It's not going to happen until 8 months from now. So it's too early to make predictions, but we can say one prediction. We can make one prediction, and that is what looked like a huge Democrat victory 6 weeks ago does not look that way anymore. Right now, it looks more like a dead heat type of election where turnout will make the difference. So I think that's going to be the key for both parties, turning out, because if either party can get their votes out, I think that could very easily be the difference in the House and in some tough Senate elections that will be coming up this year. So we'll keep an eye on this during the course of the year. As I said, it's too early to make a prediction, but it's not too early to say that what people thought would be a huge Democrat year doesn't seem to be looking that way anymore. It's getting a lot closer. That doesn't mean one party is not going to win or the other. I mean, it doesn't mean anything other than it's a heck of a lot closer than it was about 6 weeks ago when the Democrats had a huge advantage. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning the Super Bowl. It was a great game, a great finish in particular. And thank you for watching. We have these at YouTube, we have them on Twitter, and we also have them on my blog. Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you later.